All right, so buckle up because today we are diving deep into the world of Trisha Paytas.
Oh, boy.
You guys know her, you love her, or you hate her.
Or both, maybe.
You sent in a ton of YouTube videos breaking down, well, a whole lot of drama.
Yeah, and
All sorts of accusations against
her
her,
abuse, hypocrisy,
manipulation, the whole 9 yards.
pretty much.
Now, these videos are coming from, those commentary channels.
Oh, yeah. So we know there are going to be some strong opinions.
Some spicy takes, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
But we're here to kind of cut through all that.
Right.
And see what these accusations tell us about Paytas, about her online persona, and really about internet culture in general.
That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Is it just her, or is this, a wider issue?
Exactly.
So the first thing that these videos really jump into is Paytas' history of alleged abusive and hypocritical behavior.
Okay, so let's start with this abusive claim.
Yeah.
The videos highlight this TikTok that Paytas made where she's doing one of those, put a finger down challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Seems harmless enough, right?
On the surface.
Yeah. But the things that she's listing are, I don't know, getting physical with a partner, forcing location services.
Right, all this stuff that just kind of screams like toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And that's what's really disturbing, right?
Yeah.
She's presenting all of these actions in this, kind of lighthearted, jokey way.
And it's almost like a lot of her fans kind of brush it off, like, oh, it's just Trisha.
Right, that's just her.
Yeah.
But the videos, they don't let her off that easy, though.
No.
They bring up all these leaked texts and photos that suggest potential domestic violence, specifically with Moses, her husband.
Right.
And while we can't take those at face value, it definitely raises a red flag.
Yeah, it's something to consider for sure.
And it's really interesting. Yeah. They juxtapose these allegations with Paytas's very vocal condemnation of Amber Heard during the Depp trial.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the hypocrisy is pretty
glaring.
Yeah.
On the one hand, she is criticizing someone for this alleged abuse, but on the other hand, she's downplaying or even joking about similar behavior in her own relationships.
Yeah, and the videos unearthed these old tweets where Paytas actually admits to restraining an ex-boyfriend, so it's not just a one-time thing,
This is the pattern.
This is a pattern of behavior.
Yeah, and this is what makes this so compelling.
Yeah.
Because it forces us to ask, why this hypocrisy is so common.
Right.
And not just with Paytas, but online personalities in general.
Yeah, it makes you think about that power dynamic, right?
Yeah.
And how online fame can create this sense of invincibility.
Absolutely.
And, she addresses these accusations head on.
Right.
And a lot of times she uses her mental health as a justification for her actions.
Right, but that kind of adds another layer to this whole thing.
Yes.
To what extent can we use mental health as an excuse for bad behavior?
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole other conversation.
Exactly.
But it's definitely worth thinking about.
It is, yeah.
Because, on one hand, mental health struggles are very real.
Oh, absolutely.
And they can impact someone's actions.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand,
right,
we still have to hold individuals accountable.
So sure.
Where do we draw the line?
Exactly.
Stuff.
Yeah, and these commentary channels, they're kind of, leaning towards...
Yeah.
Seems like she's using it as a shield,
Yeah, to deflect criticism.
Yeah.
And that's something that we as viewers have to grapple with as well.
Absolutely. We can't just take everything at face value.
No.
And, speaking of grappling with difficult questions, the next rabbit hole these videos lead us down is Trisha Paytas and manipulative behavior.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah.
This one is a doozy, so get ready. So the videos recount this whole saga involving a YouTuber named Nick.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, Paytas reached out to him, fan of his, saying she loved his content, wanted to collaborate.
Classic influencer move.
So Nick, super excited.
Of course.
Books flights to Los Angeles.
And then nothing.
Instant.
Yeah, completely ghost him.
And to add insult to injury,
right,
she goes on her own platform
and
accuses him of being a stalker.
A stalker, harassing her, the whole 9 yards?
It's like, what?
Oh.
She just makes up this story about him being this obsessed fan,
It completely fabricates this whole narrative.
Yeah. But Nick outsmarted her.
Oh, this is good.
So he requested a Cameo video from her.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
For those who don't know, Cameo is that platform where you can pay celebrities or online personalities for those little personalized messages.
Yeah, shout-outs.
Yeah. So in this Cameo,
Mm.
Paytas, thinking she's sending this to some random fan, completely forgets that she lied about him, and she accidentally reveals the truth. It's like she just totally forgot she'd made up this whole story.
Yeah, the receipts are there.
Yeah.
You can't hide from the truth.
The whole thing just screams manipulation.
It does.
She uses this guy, makes him travel all that way, and then turns around and makes him the villain.
Yeah, what is the motivation there?
Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's just to create this drama.
I think it's this need for control and attention.
Yeah.
You know, she thrives on this chaos and controversy.
Right.
Keeps her name in the headlines, keeps people talking, which keeps those views and engagement numbers high.
It's all a game.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just the pawns.
We are.
And this Nick situation is just one example.
One of many.
Yeah, the videos bring up a ton of other instances where she's attacked someone publicly and then claimed it was a troll or a joke.
It's a pattern, right? That's the thing.
A recurring tactic.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's one thing to make, like, edgy jokes. Yeah.
But when you're spreading misinformation or harmful stereotypes just to get a reaction, I don't know. To me, that's crossing a line.
Yeah, it definitely blurs the lines between entertainment and exploitation.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings us to another sensitive topic. Trisha Paytas and Diddy.
Yeah, this is where things get really, really messy.
Yeah.
So the timing of her videos about Diddy is incredibly suspicious.
Oh.
They come out right after Anthony Padilla releases his video, which was super successful, on the same topic.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like
Yeah.
she saw an opportunity to capitalize on this trend.
To jump on the bandwagon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, her history of self-diagnosing doesn't really help.
Not really?
Like, it just doesn't add credibility to her claims.
It doesn't lend a lot of credibility, no.
And then, you know, all of a sudden she's adopting the we and us pronouns
Even though she
after criticizing them in the past.
criticized those pronouns in the past.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, it seems very performative. Yeah, and the videos express concern that this could be, you know, trivializing a serious disorder.
Yeah.
Potentially discouraging people who actually need help from seeking it.
Exactly.
But I think that's a valid concern. When you have such a massive platform, there's a responsibility that comes with that.
For sure.
You can't just throw around these serious mental health diagnoses for attention or clout.
Absolutely. You have to be careful with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of, if you'll allow me to kind of connect the dots here.
Okay, yeah.
This brings us to Paytas' attempt at a different kind of online persona. Trish Talks.
Oh, buckle up. This is a wild one.
I know, right?
A Trish Talk.
Think of it as her attempt at, you know, being a motivational speaker.
Okay.
But with a twist.
Okay.
These videos describe it as like a low-budget imitation of those Darman videos.
Oh, okay, okay.
You know, over dramatic storylines, cheesy acting.
Right.
Yeah.
And the acting,
It
leaves much to be desired.
a lot to be desired.
To put it mildly.
To put it mildly.
And the plots.
Oh, the plots.
I mean...
There's this one skit that they highlight.
Okay.
It's about reinventing the plastic tray.
Reinventing the plastic tray.
I know.
I don't even know.
It's, yeah.
Like, what point is she trying to make?
I'm not sure anyone knows.
Okay.
But I think that's a good place to maybe pause for now.
Yeah, let's take a breather.
Catch your breath.
Okay.
But stay with us, because in part 2, we're diving into Paytas' TikTok antics and, well, her, let's just say, unique approach to content creation.
You won't want to miss it. Okay, so before we went on that whole Trish Talks tangent, we were talking about how Paytas seems to court controversy wherever she goes.
Yeah, it's almost like it's calculated, you know?
Yeah, like, is she doing this on purpose, or is it just, like, who she is?
Right, is it a persona, or is this just her personality?
Yeah, and speaking of persona, let's talk about her TikTok, because that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, yeah, TikTok.
It's like the Wild West of social media, right?
Anything goes.
But what's so fascinating is she's found a whole new level of success on TikTok.
Million the followers?
Even though a lot of her content seems, I don't know.
Pretty unoriginal.
Yeah, like, we're talking, like, basic dance trends, you know, the usual TikTok stuff.
Yeah, simple formats, but it works for her.
Yeah, and, you know, the videos you sent, they actually have some audio clips from her TikToks.
Oh, yeah.
So we can, like, experience it firsthand.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so get ready. This is a lot.
Okay.
Here's one that really stood out to me. the Hermione Granger TikTok.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a grown woman mimicking a beloved child character
Yeah.
from, a book series that so many people love.
I don't know about that outfit either.
Yeah, let's just say it raised some
It
eyebrows.
sparked a lot of debate online.
Definitely.
People found it, some people thought it was funny, some people thought it was kind of disturbing, but it brings up a bigger point about Paytas and this kind of impulsive behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like she's just filming and posting stuff without really thinking it through.
Yeah, and she's constantly reacting, putting out fires she started herself.
Yeah, and remember that Nick situation we talked about?
Oh, yeah.
She admitted to filming that response video right after a fight with her boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
Like, she's using these public outbursts to process her own personal drama.
Yeah, but it's like, at what cost,
Right, without any regard for the consequences.
Yeah, it's this pattern of reactivity that makes her TikTok success so perplexing.
Right.
Because her content, like we said, is very low effort.
A lot of times it is.
But millions of people are watching.
Yeah, what is it about her that resonates with people?
I don't know, maybe it's this, authenticity.
Yeah.
Or at least, like, perceived authenticity.
Right.
Because, in a world of perfectly curated Instagram feeds and everything, Paytas is just, like, unapologetically herself.
Flaws and all.
Yeah. And maybe for some people, that's refreshing.
Yeah, I get that.
And there's this rawness to her content that you don't really see on platforms like TikTok.
Which is ironic because TikTok is known for, you know, these very polished and edited videos.
Yeah.
It's almost like she subverted the expectations of the platform.
Yeah.
And found a new kind of audience.
It's like, when you see a train wreck in slow motion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you shouldn't look.
But you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
It's like a car crash.
Yeah.
You just have to look.
And I think that speaks to that power of guilty pleasure content,
Oh, for sure.
Even if you don't agree with her or condone her behavior, there's something about watching her that is just, I don't know.
Compelling.
Yeah.
It's hard to look away.
So is she putting on an act?
Right.
Or is this really her?
The million-dollar question.
Yeah, I mean, is she like this mastermind manipulator?
Carefully crafting this chaotic persona.
Yeah, for views and engagement.
Yeah. Or is this actually who she is, flaws and all?
Right.
We may never know.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this, like, the internet amplifies everything.
Oh, yeah.
It takes our very human tendencies, the need for connection,
validation,
drama even,
sometimes,
and puts them on a global stage.
Yeah, the stakes are higher.
Yeah.
And it seems like Paytas has just, like, embraced that amplification.
Yeah, she's turned it up to 11.
And the audience loves it.
Yeah, and it creates this, like, weird symbiotic relationship, right?
Absolutely.
The more outrageous she becomes, the more attention she gets.
The cycle continues.
Which just fuels her need to be even more outrageous.
And we're all complicit in this, right?
Yeah, because our clicks, our views, our comments, they all contribute to it.
It's a fascinating dynamic to observe.
Yeah, it's pretty unsettling.
A little bit.
Like, what responsibility do we have as viewers?
That's a good question.
Do we call out bad behavior?
Do we boycott content we don't agree with?
Yeah, or do we just sit back and enjoy the show?
It's tricky.
It's tough.
But, I think by having these discussions, by trying to analyze what's going on, it helps us to at least understand this complex digital world that we live in.
Yeah, so we've talked about these accusations of abuse, manipulation, questionable content choices. I mean, where do we go from here?
What's the takeaway?
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is to approach online content with a critical eye.
Okay.
Don't take everything you see at face value.
Right. Question motives. Think about different perspectives.
Absolutely.
Be mindful of how your engagement is contributing to this whole thing.
It's easy to get swept up in the outrage and drama.
Yeah.
But you always have a choice.
So be a conscious consumer of content. Understand that our clicks and our likes have power.
They do.
And we have a choice in what we support.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes these deep dives so valuable. Because it gives us that chance to step back, analyze, question, form our own opinions about this crazy world.
So even though this whole thing started with Trisha Paytas,
right,
it's really about so much more.
It is.
It's about the internet, our relationship with online personalities, and really the choices that we make as viewers.
I think that's a good way to summarize it.
Yeah. I feel like we've gone down every rabbit hole possible with Paytas.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen her play the victim, the villain, the motivational guru, even a fictional teenage witch.
Oh, I know, right.
It's hard to keep track.
Maybe that's the point.
What do you mean?
Well, like maybe it's not about figuring out who she really is, but understanding how this, this whole constant shape-shifting,
Yeah.
this controversy, how it works online.
Okay, so you're saying it's less about her and more about the system she's operating within.
Exactly. And remember those commentary channels we talked about?
Yeah.
They're part of this whole ecosystem too.
Okay.
They're dissecting her behavior, they're providing their opinions, and that content gets views, it gets shared, it just fuels the whole fire.
So even the people criticizing her are kind of benefiting from her antics.
Well, think about it.
Okay.
If Paytas suddenly stopped being controversial,
Yeah.
what would these channels talk about?
That's true.
It's a really complex dynamic.
It is.
And I don't think anyone is truly innocent in this whole online game.
It's a little bleak, isn't it?
It is a bit, yeah.
Like we're all just stuck in this cycle of outrage and attention seeking.
Well, the internet does tend to amplify everything.
Yeah.
Takes all of our, human tendencies, the need for connection,
Validation.
drama.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just puts it all out there for everyone to see.
On a global stage.
And it seems like in Paytas' case, she's just figured out how to exploit that.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe she's just a symptom of a larger issue.
That's a good point.
What does it say about us as the audience?
Right.
Like, why are we so fascinated by these train wrecks?
Maybe it's Schadenfreude.
Okay.
Maybe we're looking for a distraction from our own lives.
Or maybe we're just drawn to something that feels authentic, even if it's,
Even if it's messy.
even if it's a little problematic, yeah.
It's like in a world of filters and, curated perfection, she's just raw.
Unfiltered.
So even her flaws become like a selling point.
In a way, I guess, yeah.
It's like we know she's not perfect,
Right.
but at least she's not pretending.
That's true.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So we're not necessarily condoning her behavior,
Right.
but we are craving something real, something relatable.
Even if that realness comes with a whole lot of drama.
Yeah, it's like this weird paradox of the internet.
I know, right?
We want authenticity, but we also reward like performativity. And she kind of exists in both of those worlds.
She does. She walks that line.
So what do we do with all this?
That's a good question.
How do we deal with this online world where everything is so blurred?
It's tough.
What's real, what's fake? I mean, it's hard to tell sometimes.
I think the most important thing is just being aware, being mindful of what you're consuming, why you're consuming it, and what impact your engagement is having.
It's easy to get swept up in the drama.
Oh, yeah?
But you always have a choice.
Exactly. You can engage, you can disengage.
You can critique, you can celebrate.
You have a voice.
And you can choose how to use it.
Even in this big, crazy digital world.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes these deep dives so valuable.
Me too.
Because it gives us a chance to kind of like step back, take a breath, and really think about this stuff.
Analyze it.
And form our own opinions.
Exactly.
So even though we started with Trisha Paytas, this deep dive ended up being about so much more.
Yeah. It's about all of us, really.
Yeah, the internet, online personalities, and the choices that we make as viewers.
That's a good way to put it.
So, thank you for joining us on this wild ride through the world of Trisha Paytas and internet culture.
Thanks for having me.
It's been an adventure, to say the least.
It has.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, stay curious, stay critical, and most importantly, stay engaged.